So OB43 or Open Beta 43 was just teased by the Hi-Rez, the Paladins developers, last night on their stream, so I'm going to try and chomp everything down into a bite-sized chunk and talk about the things that I think are quite important that are coming with this patch. I'd also like to say that Maeve was announced yesterday, and I said that we'd play it on my Discord when it was out, but apparently the public test server isn't going to be out until Monday. That's what they're aiming for. It could be earlier, it could be later. Hi-Rez Alyssa said that. And they're aiming for Wednesday for the official release of the OB43 patch. I know a lot of people have been asking, but those are the dates that we have to go on at the moment. This patch is called Nightfall in honor of Maeve's ultimate, which sort of brings the shadows around other champions, but also it's a nightfall on the reign of Blast Shields and Haven being an instant pickup depending on who you're playing against. So they've just been nerfed from 10, 20, 30% to 7, 14 or 21% at each level. And that's pretty big because now the last level of Haven or Blast Shields is pretty much what Haven or Blast Shields was at the second level last time. So it means that you're getting less value for money each pickup of that percentage. They said they wanted to change this as it was just literally the no-brainer. You wanted to pick up some defense, you pick up Haven or Blast Shields because it made a lot of sense because it was so powerful. And I kind of agree with that. But how does that actually work out? Well, I did a little bit of maths because I thought, hey, you know what, let's just try and get a bit of maths out there. Cassie does 650 shot every shot without any bonus damage or from roll or anything like that. So if you're hitting an enemy Skye with 1800 health, in the previous patch, if they had Haven level 1 on, it would have done 585 damage a shot and taken 4 shots to kill you. But under this new nerf, each shot does 604.5 damage. I'm not sure how it rounds up or down. So in theory, it would only take 3 shots to kill you. Which sort of puts it into perspective on how, even though it's not a massive nerf, it's only 3%, it could still mean life or death or an easier kill on somebody because of this nerf. But in general, it's just going to lower the time to kill towards the end of the game, and maybe that'll sort of freshen things up and make it not such a clusterfuck sometimes at the 3rd and 4th rounds if they come to the 3-3 sort of mark. It also means that you might be looking at resilience, and some characters do really benefit from it if you're against a lot of enemy champions that do have stun and do have slows and things. Like Pip has a slow and his chickens, his ultimate is affected by the resilience. A lot more things than you might imagine are affected by resilience. And a character like Torvald, who doesn't really have much health anyway, so isn't that bothered about Haven or Blast Shields in the first place, might be an instant pick resilience. The second one up isn't exactly a nerf, but it's a fix, but basically Cauterize doesn't stack anymore with any other anti-healing effects. So for example, Skye's right click, poison darts, reduces enemy healing, but that won't stack with Cauterize if you have Cauterize as well. Only the highest one will stack above it, so if say level 2 of Cauterize is 60%, that'll go over your poison darts, and that one will be in effect, but you won't get any effect from your poison darts. This was actually quite a big deal this patch, and you could pretty much reduce healing to 0 on some characters if you hit them with, say, Fernando's Fireball and also Cauterize 2. So we could see some more healing meta coming around in OB43. Nimble's had a change, but I just thought I'd make a public service announcement about this because it's quite interesting. So basically movement buffs go off of the card, the ability, or the item that allows that higher mobility. So say if you have Nimble 1, it's going to be superseded by, say, Charlene's level 4 card, where it gives him, I think it's 20% movement speed. That'll go over the top of the 10% movement speed Nimble, but you won't get the 10% Nimble. But say if you get level 3 Nimble at 30%, then that'll take over the top of Charlene's card and get rid of that, and then you'll have the 30%. But what they've actually fixed is something completely irrelevant, where if you used an ability in game that gave you speed, so for example Tyra's ultimate gives you speed, that would override your Nimble, and then you wouldn't get the Nimble back until you respawn, which I guess is just a nice touch, but just highlights how the mechanic actually works. Veterans also got a buff by having its cost reduced from 300 to 200. And I think on characters like Skye and some of the other flankers, it could again be one of the pickups if you can get in and out of the combat and heal up quickly and get back in again. Life Rip's been nerfed in the way that it's been fixed, I guess. Basically, Knife Steal only works off of exact damage done to a target now. It's not damage before Haven or Blast Shields, which have been nerfed, so it will be slightly more effective than it would have been. And also, it doesn't take damage of personal shields, basically things like Torvald's shield and damage done to that. So you can't stack it with Wrecker and get massive heals, like there was some videos about Book where you jump in and you get these hits off on Torvald and you'd be getting like 2,000 health back pretty quickly. It's also going to be reduced by healing reduction, which is, you know, cauterizing things like that, which is not a great thing for lifesteal users, and also you can't lifesteal from deployables. In my opinion, lifesteal this patch actually felt useful, whereas other patches it wasn't always the pickup. It was something that you could pick up to have a bit of more of a chance in duels and things like that, but I think they're going back too far in this one. I think they may be fixing things, but it wasn't in a good place beforehand anyway, and maybe it was too far this time, but maybe they need to find some middle ground for Life Rip, for me at least. Champion wise, there have been a few fixes for champions in high ping situations, but I won't talk about those, the things that you probably wouldn't notice anyway. Drogo's salvo, however, has been changed. Basically, the blast radius of each rocket is increased by 70%, so a bigger splash. Each rocket fires faster, so from 0.2 to 0.15 seconds. The accuracy is also increased from 90 to 95%. So basically it means that you can carpet bomb an area, so if you've got a load of enemies on the point, then you can carpet bomb them there. Although, the damage is still staying the same, and because of that, I find it hard to believe that salvo will still be useful in the game, and I think for high level play, you'll still be firing off your main rockets into even an area, and getting that higher damage on the single targets, and also getting the splash damage as well, and then getting your fire spit off, getting the cooldown on the fire spit when you hit a load of people, firing it off again, and getting another fire spit in there, and that's how you're going to generate your damage, probably not your salvo. So, I don't know if we'll see a resurgence of that, but let's test it out on OB43 when it comes. Kinessa and Ruckus have got very minor things. Kinessa suppresses mines, now are affected by cooldown reduction, so Kronos can affect those, and so can Ruckus Advance, which gives him an escape. But Ruckus also has his Hexafire, which his ultimate now counts as AoE damage, or blast damage, so blast shields are going to be what mitigate this damage, which will actually make Ruckus better in the fact that he has dual damage, because nobody can completely mitigate his damage by just buying Haven, because you'll have that blast damage coming out as well. So they've been pretty light on the champion balancing this patch, but the items are what's really interesting on this one and could really shake up the meta quite a bit and change the time to kill in the game, and especially towards the end of the game it might feel more like the first rounds in the game and sort of the middle of the game that we have at the moment. Some general things that they've added: one big one, PvE, has a new weekly quest. Basically if you win 5 matches of the PvE mode, you'll get 50 crystals. I know a lot of people will be happy about that. But you can only win this one time and can't be repeated per account, so I'm guessing this is weekly and it's just something to go on top of those login rewards, I guess, for the week. Whenever you start in a game, the lobby will have the chat open automatically, so sort of to prompt you to talk to your allies, and I guess is good for generally getting a better pick and lineup, although it could just be used to flame each other as well, I guess, before closing it again. They've said there's been improvements to the sound and music, but there have been a lot of troubles with the sound in this patch. I'm going to be looking carefully at this once the public test server comes online, and I hope that they have got this worked out now, but they did say mainly the stuff is in the music and not the sound in the patch notes, but we'll just have to see. Some gameplay things. So first off, they said that they've increased the slide-off physics for rooftops where players are not intended to linger, which will basically push you off more aggressively. This could actually be a bit of a shadow nerf to Drogos, who actually uses a lot of these roofs to get on top and fire down from, so this could actually be a backhanded nerf to Drogos, so sorry Drogos fans, we'll just have to see how slippery these roofs actually are. They said they've also improved hit detections for the area of respect explosions. At the moment they do seem quite big, so I wonder if they're making them tighter or what they're doing about them. We'll just have to see about that one. Some consumer stuff, they've made it so you can bulk buy chests, so you can buy 1 Radiant chest for 50, 5 Radiant chests for 225 crystals, 10 for 400, 15 for 550, and 20 for 700 crystals. Who buys Radiant chests with crystals anyway? I'm not too sure, but I guess if you want to do that, then there's the option there now. They also got rid of all emotes and MVP poses out of the Colossal chest, which is a big thing a lot of people have been asking for and kicking up a stink about, so nice one, Hi-Rez. And they've put it into a new flare chest with just MVP and emote poses, which I guess is better than them being in the Colossal chest and bringing that value down of that chest. But this isn't just the patch of Maeve and the patch of Nightfall, this is the patch of love. So we also have a Valentine's Day chest with quite a lot of goodies inside it. One of the most ridiculous things, and something we haven't seen for a long time, is a candy unicorn mount. Basically you can ride down on a trumped up gigantic My Little Pony and basically taunt your enemies as you prance around them. You go around, you flank around to the back of an enemy, you're jumping around circles in like a Charlene or something that's struggling to hit you, and just insult them with your rainbow dust coming out your rear end. I think that's what this unicorn is for, and you can spray on there as well, this troll face of a unicorn. Sky's got the full shebang with the pink hair, a nice little heart tie on top, and general sort of lovey-dovey theme. Looks pretty cool. I guess this is nice for a full set. Cassie's got a cherubic cat crossbow. I can't even say it. Cherubic crossbow. Grok's basically become one of the Sailor Moon members and has like a Sailor Moon wand. Let's just go there. Victor has a heart patch on his eye. Lovely. Pip has love specs. These are some of the worst, I think. Not my one. The Androxus Loveless revolver weapon is pretty cool. It's basically just got a heart on the side. It's a lovey-dovey shooter. And Grover has a lovey-dovey rosebud canopy. All in all, I think these are going to be used to troll your enemy, basically. They look silly, and in pretty much every game, Valentine's stuff is used to troll people, so I think that's what's going to be used here. So the people that are MLG 420 meme it every day are probably going to be wearing these skins, and again, they are in a chest, so that's just the way Hi-Rez is going, but that's just free to play, and these are things that don't affect gameplay, so they are nice, and hopefully people will buy them to keep the game afloat. Worth mentioning, but the reason I didn't mention it in the main segment is that basically they said there would be 5 maps added to the game for the test queue, but actually they've got Ice Mines Redo version 2, so basically just a version 2 of the map they'd already put up, and District version 2, so a version 2 of that as well. So not a new map, just a redo of a map that they'd already put up. Got Grotto A and B, who knows what that'll be. Stride version 2, basically only just removed Undercity and Atrium, but those will be interesting to try out on the test queue. As always, it'll be interesting to see how the meta works out, and like I said before in the Maeve video, I'll be trying to get custom games as soon as possible when it goes live on the PTS, and that should be about Monday. So if you do want to join in and go to my Discord, because I usually announce the custom games there, and hopefully we can play together then. What does everyone else think about OB43? Do you think the meta's going to be better? Do you think the time to kill might be a bit too wonky and a bit too quick? Let me know in the comments section below. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button. If you didn't, dislike it. And I'll see you all in the next video. Joshino.